Good evening, everyone. This is K4K&J Net Control. Now calling the greater Pee Dee 2-minute net. My name is Sam. I'm located right here in Fork. This net meets nightly at 9 p.m. on the W4 PDE repeater to handle traffic to and from the coverage area of this repeater. All amateurs are cordially invited and encouraged to participate. This net may also be superseded by the Area Severe Weather Net in times of emergency. At this time, do we have any emergency or priority traffic? Any emergency or priority traffic? If so, call K4K&J Net Control. Do we have any liaison stations or stations wishing to list traffic announcements or bulletins? That's traffic announcements or bulletins. If so, please call K4K&J Net Control. Alright, I do like to remind everybody that tonight is Saturday night, which is our normal ride-through night. And we'll get to that here in a little bit after mobile and short-time stations. So if you'd like to ride through, tell us how your day's been or how your week's been. You can stay by for that, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. At this time, do we have any mobile or short-time stations? That's mobile or short-time stations wishing to check in to the greater PD 2-minute net. Call K4K&J Net Control.
K4K&J. Hello, Sam and the group. Please sign in November 4, Romeo Mike Alpha, Freddie and Dylan. K4K&J. Please check in KI4IGA, Jacko here in Cox Creek, Blaine County. Short time. Hello, Sam.
K4K&J. Good evening, Sam. Please check in Kilo 4, Alpha Victor Romeo Mac, and Kilo Golf 4, Yankee Victor Juliet Susie in Florence. Short time.
K4K&J.
Check in KI4 TGI 73s.
K4K&J. Please check in Kilo Fox 4, Zulu Delta Lima Highway, Mars Bluff.
K4K&J. Good evening, Sam and everybody. Please check in short time. Kilo Charlie 8, Kilo Sierra Kilo. That's KC8KSK, Tama Conway. K4K&J. Good evening, Sam. Please check in Kilo 4, John Sierra Alpha, Mike in Amplico. Also check my wife in Kilo 4, Golf Romeo Zulu, and that would be Savannah. Secretary.
And the net is, please recognize, N4 RMA, that's Freddie and Dylan. KI4IGA, Jack Carver's Creek. K4 AVR Mac, he's bringing along KG4YVJ Miss Susie. They're both in Florence. KI4 TGI, Larry and Conway. KF4 ZDL Howie Mars Bluff. KC8 KSK Tom in Conway. KK4 GSA Mike, he's bringing along KK4G RZ, Savannah, and they're both down there in Pamlico. Any other mobile or short-time stations, that's mobile or short-time stations, for the greater PD 2-minute net, call K4K&J Net Control.
K4K&J.
Alright, now this please recognize KB4RRC. That's Donald in Florence. Right. With that said and done, we'll go in a regular roll call. Roll call will be in alphabetical order. Please check in by the first letter of your call sign suffix. Tonight being Saturday night, we'll start with stations Alpha through Delta. That's stations A through D. Call K4K and J net control.
K4K and J.
Good evening, Sam, and everyone else in the net. This is N6AJK, Dean and Conway.
I'll try that again. Good evening, Sam. Please check in K4DTT, Lexington Beach.
Alright, that is please recognize K4DTT. That's Glenn down at the beach. And N6AJK, Dean and Conway. Any other Alpha through Delta stations, A through D, call K4K and J net control. Yeah, with nothing heard, we'll go stations Echo through Hotel. Stations Echo through Hotel, call K4K and J net control.
K4K and J. Good evening, Sam. Please check in KF4ECK Everett, KF4AYM, Leon Conway.
And that is please recognize KF4ECK Edward. He's bringing along KF4AYM, that's Leon. They're both down there in Conway. Any other Echo through Hotel stations, E through H, for the greater Pee Dee 2 minute net, call K4K and J net control. And with nothing heard there, we'll go to stations I through L. That's stations India through Lima. Call K4K and J net control.
K4K and J, please check in K4ITL, Danny and Raleigh.
K4K and J. Hey, Sam. Would please check in KE4JWH, Jimmy in Hartsville.
K4KNJ, please check in KK4KSX, Bob Surfside Beach, and if KE4GV ever checks in, I got a net report from.
That is please recognize K4ITL, Danny and Raleigh. KE4JWH, Jimmy in Hartsville. And KK4KSX, Bob in Surfside Beach. And Bob, if Glenn shows up, we'll take care of that. Any other stations in the India through Lima group, I through L, for the greater Pee Dee 2 minute net, call K4K and J net control. And with nothing heard, we'll go to stations M through P. That's stations Mike through Papa. Call K4K and J net control.
K4KNJ. Hello, Sam and the group. Fuel check-in, N4 Mike 5, that's Georgetown. K4KNJ. Check-in
It is please recognize in for Mike Fox, that's Mitch in Georgetown. WB50XN, that is Randy in Socastee. Any other Mike through Papa stations, M through P, code K4KNJ net control. And we have nothing. We'll go to the Quebec through Tango stations, Q through T for the greater Pee Dee 2-minute net call K4KNJ net control.
Net control. Net control, please check in. W2 SOC, Tim in Socastee.
HA4 RCJ up in Emerald Isle, North Carolina.
That is please recognize W2SOC, that's Tim in Socastee, and KK4RCJ, that is J up there in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Any other stations, Quebec through Tango, Q through T, call K4KNJ net control. And we hear none, so we'll go to the Uniform through Zulu group. The station is U through Z. For greater Pee Dee 2-minute net, call K4KNJ net control.
Fort KNJ. Good evening, Sam, and everyone on the net. Please check in. KK4VXD, Isaac and Florence.
There it is, please recognize KK4VXD, that's Isaac down there in Florence. Any other stations in the Uniform through Zulu group, that's Uniform through Zulu, call K4KNJ net control. Alright, here no more. We'll go and check any late stations. Any stations Alpha through Zulu. Any stations A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Wishing to check in to the greater Pee Dee 2-minute net. Call K4KNJ net control. Stations Alpha through Zulu, A through Z. Wishing to check in to the greater Pee Dee 2-minute net, call K4KNJ net control. Alrighty. Well, nothing to hurry. We'll go back and check all these fine folks and see what they did for the day or for the week. I would like to talk here, since this is our normal Rag Q night. First up on the list tonight is Mr. K4DTT, Glenn down at the beach. Hey Glenn, what's got for us? Anything good, interesting that we might like to hear?
Hey, Mr. Sam. K4KNJ, this is K4DTT. Well, don't have too much to tell about my day today. It's about like the rest of them. Can't really think of anything much I've done. About the only thing I've done is watch some electronics repair on YouTube, and it was interesting, so I did that for a while. Other than that, for today, just wait for the motorcycles to flood us out, and maybe we get a little break in that from the weather. Anyway, see you later. K4DBB.
Now, Glenn, that's interesting enough, I guess. I mean, if anybody knows anything about YouTube, if you ever wants to find something, how to do something, go look on YouTube. There's probably a video about it. I go there quite a bit as well. But I appreciate you being here on the net as well. And we'll take next, and we'll go to Dean, N6AJK down in Conway. Dean, are you still with us? And if you are, what you got for us, sir? Well, I guess Dean's not there. That's okay, though. We'll go down to the next one. And that's Mr. Elwood in Conway. KF4ECK. Elwood, what's good and what you do? All week or all day, depending on what you want to tell us. I was for sure Elwood would be there, but I guess he's not. Well, I guess Elwood didn't stick around either. That's okay. And the next on the list is probably the most busiest person I've ever known. And that's K4ITL. Danny up in Raleigh. Danny, if you're still with us and you like to comment, please do so at this time, sir.
K4KNJ in the net from K4ITL. Not much to report from here, Sam. Have been fairly busy when I could be.
Oh, yeah.
Hope everybody's had a good week, and glad to hear people showing up here on Saturday night. Been a nice week weather break-wise, and people are enjoying that, I'm sure. And might have some people that's still enjoying it tonight that aren't here. Hope everybody has a nice week next week. Good hearing everyone. K4ITL.
Alright, Danny, you're right. It's been a wonderful past week, man, with all the high temperatures and no rain. And it's been awesome. And hopefully it'll stay like that for the following week to come. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you do as well, Danny. And with that said, we'll go over here to Jimmy. That's KE4JWH. And he's over there in Hartsville, which he likes to call Hearts Vegas. What's going on, Jimmy?
Hey Sam, everybody, this is KE4JWH, and I guess first and foremost, I ought to ask everybody, is there any particular music they'd like to hear? Hearing nothing, I guess I'll go ahead. Just sitting here at the house watching the race. Had a good meeting today, good fellowship, had a good time, good hamburger. So, nothing else really going on. But tragedy has struck again in Hartsville. I don't know if anybody knows it, but we've lost another child today in a house fire, so I don't know what's going on over here. Just remember that family, and also the family of little Sophia. Her granddad's here with me watching the race. So anyway, not much. And I'm sitting there with my iPad taking the practice exam for the general. Hopefully I'll pass it this time, so I've gotten as close as missing it by 3, I think. So anyhow, that's all I got, and just remember, if you ever want to hear any particular song, just call me and I'll somehow play it on the radio. Good night, everybody. KE4JWH.
He's calling on the phone. Jimmy, that was interesting today. That was very. You got to do something about your microphone in the car. That's for sure. Hang it up somewhere and keep it a, you know, from being in between the seats. But yeah, it's sad to hear about another. You know, I don't know what's going on in Hartsville, man. You got to tighten up on law enforcement down or something. But it is what it is, and yeah, we did have a good meeting. But I don't know what it is about those Hardee's hamburgers, man. I couldn't keep mine together. every time I put it back together, it fall right back apart every time I picked it up. So it is what it is, and I appreciate everybody that came to that as well, and appreciate you being here as well, Jimmy. And the next on the list is Mr. Bob down there in Surfside Beach, KK4KSX. Bob, I don't know if you're working or not, but if you're not, and you got plenty to tell us, I'm sure.
You want this KK4KSX? Yeah, Sam, I just not too much here. I've been working earlier today and whatnot, and I got some bad news. I got a good friend of mine that I stayed with up north had called me last night, told me his wife had passed away last night. So I was saddened about that news, but I'm getting over it. Anyhow, I hope everybody's enjoyed their day. And it's beautiful weather here. So I'll take it back to you, KK4KSX.
Well, Bob, I hate to hear about that too. And we had something sort of like that happen here. As most everybody knew, my mother, she was in-home, care, in-home health care, or not a nurse per se, but she was watching an elderly person, and he passed away a week ago. She was with him for 6 years, watched him for 6 years, and he just passed away this last Saturday. He passed away, and of course, that kind of hit her heart too, because she was with him almost every single day for the last 6 years, so I had to deal with that. Of course, that happens, and we have to move on, and all that good stuff. Glad you be here, and I hope you enjoy everything else in amateur radio or in life. And next up on the list is Mitch. And Mitch has always got something interesting to tell us. That's Info Mike Fox. Mitch, what you got for us tonight?
Good evening, Sam and the group, K4KNJ and for Mike Fox. Well, about the only thing I've got here from Georgetown the other day, spent a little while working on a FT1K, and got to a point where I had to order some parts for it, and going to put a FT890 up on the bench tomorrow. Try and finish an alignment on it after repairing blown driver issue in the PA. And then, by the same token, today I had a guy come down from Columbia and brought me a couple of TS940s to work on with varying degrees of not working. So we'll get that sorted out. Other than that, been about it for me today. Still trying to get my freaking truck running. I can get out there right now and crank it right up. But about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes later, once the temperature gauge rises to a certain point, the timing or something just mysteriously starts changing and winds up at a 1500 high idle and won't come out of that. And then if I try to accelerate anywhere quick with it, it wants to stumble and do all sorts of other mess. So there's something temperature related there that the computer is seeing that's messing with, I guess, timing or something. And I got a couple of sensors coming for the truck. The manual only shows one temperature sensor. My truck has two. It has a 2-wire sensor. It also has a single-wire sensor. Let me let this drop. And the schematic in the Haynes manual, it only shows the one 2-wire sensor. It does not show the single-wire sensor, which is actually the one I've been getting the code off of when I read the codes out of the PCM. So hopefully getting both of them replaced will get rid of that code, and then we'll see what happens with it. But next time I crank it up, after I've replaced those, I'm going to have the timing light on it, as well as the fuel pressure gauges on fuel rail, so I can see what's changing, whether it's timing or fuel pressure. And then if it's timing, try and see, I guess, if there's a way of correcting whatever the computer is trying to set it to or that kind of thing. But it's been, well, let's see where we're at now. It's the 10th. I've been 38 days without my truck, so yeah, it's not been fun here. Been making do. The neighbors been gracious enough to let me use his truck when I need to. So there you go. K4KMJ and 4 Mike Fox.
Oh yeah, Mitch. I know how issues with vehicles can be. I really do. You know, I've not had really too many problems with vehicles that we have here. But my sister, she had you know, her car, and the battery just quit, and she wanted me to change the battery because every time she would go to the car, you know, it just would not crank, the battery dead and all, and you had to jump it off. But when I went to a house to change the battery, well, it's one of those configurations where the battery is like behind the motor, and you just cannot get to it, and you have to take it to a manufacturer to get, or some dealership or some mechanic to get it to it, because it's just too much work. And yeah, so we actually had to drag it to a mechanic because I wasn't gonna go through all that to change out a battery. I don't know why anybody would want to put the battery up behind the motor or down there where you can't just, you know, undo some connections and take it out. So that was interesting too. So I know how those little projects can be. But we hope you get your truck back fixed and get it back running, because I know how that is to be without a vehicle. I've had a few of those times in my life. Appreciate you being here as well, Mitch, and hope everything goes good for you. Next up on the list is Randy, WB5OXN. Randy, you can't have too much to talk about today because you talked about everything to me at the hardest. But let's see what you got new.
Well, I think you might have covered it all there, Sam. I went up to Mullins there to Hardee's, and we talked about field day. And other than driving back, just playing with some really bright lights, cool LEDs, and that's about it. I'll turn it back over to you, Sam. WB5OXN. Go ahead, K4KMJ.
Man, I figured you'd done something a whole lot more exciting when you got back home. But yeah, man, great to see you today, and thanks for being here tonight as well. And with that one said, we'll pass the mic right over to your neighbor there, W2SOC. Tim, I'm not going to say nothing, but look, what you got for us?
Well, as Randy said, a bunch of us met up there at Hardee's in Mullins, had a good lunch, and discussed some kind of semi-final details of field day. Folks, it's going to be a good one. Got a lot of things in the works. Keep everybody entertained and have plenty to do. It's going to be one that people talk about for years, I'm sure. With that, I'll say 73 and pass it back to you, Sam. W2SOC.
Well, Tim, it was great to see you as well today. Although I see you quite a bit. But it was great to see you today as well, and thanks for doing all you do for field day. And thanks for being here tonight. And now we'll move over to a new ham, sort of a new ham. I think he's been here a year or so, but this is KK4RCJJ over there at Emerald Beach. Jay, if you're still with us, and you'd like to comment, let us know what you did for the past week or so, or year since you've been an amateur radio operator.
Oh yeah, this is Jay over at Emerald, KK4RCJ. Yeah, really enjoying this hobby, and it's so good to hear Danny Hampton in there. I don't know whether Danny's still on here or not. We certainly appreciate everything he does for the hobby. And I've met him one time, and I'm sure he doesn't remember me, 1971 in the Lafayette store there in Raleigh. I'd gone down there and bought an old Lafayette 123. I think one of the first solid state CB radios that they ever came out with. But and a Pierce Simpson I think I bought down there too. But I remember he was working down at the Lafayette store down there. 1971 as I remember. But yeah, it's been a great day here. It was a great day last night because it's been
I wasn't born in 1971.
And I've made two contacts on Simplex out of all the way from Daytona Beach, Florida to Emerald Isle, North Carolina. I don't know how far that is, probably 500 miles, 450 anyway. And also Tampa, Florida all the way to Emerald Isle on Simplex. So that was just the first time I'd ever talked that far on 2 meters. So it's really been the last couple of days really been great on here. And today was an unusual day because the house across the street from me was being filmed for this HGTV, some kind of a show they've got, bargain beach houses or something like that. They say it's going to be on TV in the next couple of weeks, but the guy had a drone out there. And I mean, I've heard of these drones. I've seen them on TV, but I've never seen one in person. This is like a helicopter drone. Fella and his wife were operating this thing. She had the camera part of it, and he was operating the controls of the airplane. And they videoed this beach house by way of that drone. And then they had a film crew came in with the young couple that was looking at buying the house, and they did all the inside work. So that took most of the afternoon over here. I guess my wife and I were craning our necks looking out the window at what was going on over there. But it's really a really good day, great weather, and good to hear everybody on the net here. So this is Jay down in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, also based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. But down here every weekend. This is KK4RCJ.
My goodness, Jay. I think your day might have been more exciting than mine. And I thought I had a pretty good day. See one of those drones, man. It's got to be interesting. Because I know Amazon was talking about, having drones go out to deliver packages to your house. That would be kind of freaky, to see this little robot thing come to your house, drop a package and take off. Kind of like, being in the military, they're just dropping a bomb on your front porch there. But yeah, that's interesting, man. And I don't, 1971 though. I wasn't even born in '71, so I don't remember that. I don't even know if Daniel would remember that. That's like what, 40 years ago or so? Can I do the math in my head that quick? Probably not. But that's interesting, very interesting. And if you met Danny back then, well, you need to meet him again today because he knows a whole lot more today than he probably knows back then. And because I've talked to Danny a couple times, and I just wish I knew half of what he knew. But appreciate you being here, Jay, and being here on the net as well. And hope you enjoy amateur radio for as long as you can be in it. And we'll move over here to the last station on the list, and I don't know if he's still around, but we'll try for Mr. KK4VXD. That's Isaac in Florence. And Isaac, what did you do today, sir? If you're still here.
4K&J, this is AK4VXD. I had a pretty good day today. I went to my first Wing Commanders call, which is basically a meeting where you voice opinions to the Wing Commander and to other cadets in the Wing. And I got put on a cadet programs committee to kind of set the course for cadet programs for the Civil Air Patrol Cadet Program in South Carolina. Other than that, had a pretty good lunch from Subway. And then when I got home, I got to go to a new movie. It was pretty funny. Other than that, not too much else going on. Wish I could have made that meeting, but didn't work into my schedule. Back to net. KK4VXD clear. 73s, everyone.
Alright, Isaac. That's a cool deal. I never did get into that CAP stuff and all that, but I'm sure you enjoy it and hope it works out for you, and appreciate you being on the net as well. And maybe we'll see you over there at field day. And with that said, that brings us to the bottom of the list. We have nobody else, but we're going to try right now to get any more check-ins from Alpha through Zulu. That's stations A through Z. Alpha through Zulu wishing to check in to the greater Pee Dee 2 Internet. Call K4K&J Net Control.
Control. Please check in Kilo 4, Sierra Papa Zulu, Nat in Bishopville, short time.
That is, please recognize KK4SPZ. That's Nat in Bishopville. Nat, appreciate you being here as well, even though you're short time. Thanks for being here. Any other Alpha through Zulu stations, A through Z stations with a greater PD 2 internet, call K4KNJ Net Control.
Sam, please check in KI4TED, Ted in Lumberton, North Carolina.
That's Kilo India 4 Tango Echo Delta.
Kilo India 4, Tango Echo Delta, Ted in Lumberton, North Carolina.
Hi Ted, KI4TED, Ted in Lumberton, North Carolina. Appreciate you being here, Ted. Any other stations, Alpha through Zulu, A through Z for greater PD 2 internet, called K4KNJ Net Control. And with nothing else said, KI4TED, Ted, if you want to comment and tell us how your week's been, how your day's been, you can do that. So if you want to, just let us know here. And, maybe we'll get you to check into the net more often.
Now, Sam, I don't have a whole lot of traffic. Just kind of fiddled around here in the yard today. Got a little bonfire going right now. I dug out an old antenna that I kind of built a couple wires. I was kind of spinning around here and trying to see what I could pick up. I heard you guys on the net. Don't believe I've ever heard this net before, so it's not like you had a real good crowd. But no traffic here. 73 there, buddy.
Okay, Ted, good deal. Appreciate you being here, though. And Lumberton, North Carolina, you're not too far from the repeater. You could probably hit this repeater with a handy-talkie. It's just right down the street across the state line in Dillon County. Up here about 1,600 feet in the air. And your QRZ page is very interesting. I like the strolling photos there. That's pretty cool. How they're just going across the screen like that. It's pretty interesting. I'll read all this little here in just a second. Appreciate you being here as well. We'll give one last call for any more Alpha through Zulu stations before we close the net. That's A through Z stations wishing to check into the greater PD 2 internet called K4KNJ Net Control. Alright, we appreciate everybody being here and joining us for this edition of the Saturday Night Right Net for greater PD 2 internet. And just so everybody knows, we had 25 check-ins. And that'll do it. This is K4KNJ Net Control. I'd like to thank everyone for your participation making this net possible. We also do it, thank Danny, K4ITL, for allowing us to use the repeater to call this net. We also invite you to come back tomorrow night and each night at 9 p.m. when we will get in the call the greater PD2 internet of the station. 7301, this is K4KNJ. Now clear and returning the W4 PDE repeater back to regular amateur use. Just so you know, if you watch this video, that was the greater PD2 internet. Called on the Dillon repeater 146745 with a PO tone of 82.5. Put it in your radio, check us out, and we'll be glad to have you. For now, this is Kilo 4, Kilo November Juliet, and we'll be clear.